Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Hi, good morning, everyone. Please put yourself on mute. There is some action going on in the background for somebody. Thank you so much. Welcome to a very, very special session today on how to grow 5x in your career. I want to know, why do you even want to grow 5x in a bit? But let me quickly introduce myself for those who are meeting me here for the first time. My name is Yukti Kapoor Mehdirata. I'm the founder and CEO of SBY Academy and a certified leadership and etiquette coach. And in leadership coaching as a profession, I have found my calling, my ikigai, and I feel blessed to say so. But it wasn't a straightforward journey, right? It was a series of mistakes, some parallel tracks, some scattered dots, which finally all came together in what I do today. So moral of my story is to do 100% of what you are doing, give your 100% to it, and never dodge from giving yourself another chance to try something new. Because if you get stuck with this mindset called the sunk cost, you land up losing the passion to enjoy your life. Let me explain this again, guys. Sunk cost एक concept है, which is one of the many biases we have in our mind, right? What does sunk cost bias mean? अगर हमने किसी चीज में इन्वेस्टमेंट की है, तो क्योंकि वो इन्वेस्टमेंट हो चुकी है, हम इन्वेस्टमेंट कंटिन्यू करते रहते हैं despite knowing that this is not working out for me. Happens sometimes. Just give me a yes in the chat box. Let's warm up the chat box as well, right? So what happens is I have started doing this course, लेकिन अभी ये कोर्स में मुझे मजा नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे अच्छा भी नहीं लग रहा है, लेकिन अब क्योंकि फीस भी दे दी है और 6 महीने भी हो गए, तो कैसे भी खत्म करो. बट व्हाट वी आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग इज कि कोर्स खत्म करने में 6 महीने और जाएंगे, तो मेरा 6 महीने की जगह 1 साल का टाइम वेस्ट होने वाला है. सिमिलरली इवन इन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वी मेक दिस मिस्टेक, राइट? कहीं पर इन्वेस्ट कर दिए और अगर वो थोड़ा सा बिप्स नीचे आता है तो हमें लगता है ओ शिट, गलत इन्वेस्टमेंट हो गया. बट कोई बात नहीं, करते रहते. पूरा मार्केट रिसर्च आपको बोल रहा है कि ये और नीचे जाने वाला है, बट because you've already invested 50,000, you'll end up investing another 50,000. This is called a sunk cost bias. And this is a mistake that we make sometimes in our career. Every cell of your being is telling you you are in a wrong place. But because you have done 2 years of that, you'll end up giving 2 years more. And that becomes 20 years. And then we look back at our life and say, yaar, अपने आप को एक चांस दिया होता ना, तो शायद कुछ अच्छा होता लाइफ में. And that is the chance I want you to give to yourself. But first we've got to understand how to identify whether it is a sunk cost or you are just not giving yourself that chance to come up with 100% commitment. We will decode this in a bit. Let me first know my audience. Thank you guys for joining in on Saturday. Saturday mornings are the best time for me. My session starts at like 6 in the morning every Saturday on various topics, starting with spiritual leadership to what we are talking about today. So thank you for joining in. I want to know you all a little better. Tell me, which city are you joining me from? Just have that in the, let's have that in the chat box, please. Where are you logging in from, guys? Mumbai. Rahul, I'm also in Mumbai. Delhi, or I belong to Delhi. I'm a Delhi girl in Mumbai for over a decade, so both are home. Bangalore, love the weather there always. Guwahati, Goregaon, Goregaon is still so confusing for me. Okay, Goregaon is a place in Mumbai, by the way, in case you don't know. So that's Gurgaon, Goa, Kerala, Patna, Bharuch, Raipur, Jaipur. Amazing. Abhi is session se pehle I was in a session as a keynote speaker with GCEC. If you would know that if you're from Jaipur, they also have incubators there and they support students to become entrepreneurs. So I was just talking to them about how to become an entrepreneur. But I, at that point, also want to know how many of you are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs and how many of you are working with corporates. So corporates hai to corp likh do, and agar entrepreneur hai to business likh do. Okay, so let's see how many of us are either already part of corporate or want to be. Then corp is your answer. Already an entrepreneur or want to be, then entrepreneur is your answer. Okay. All right, let's see. So many from corporate world, 2 from entrepreneurs. Others quickly tell me, okay, so more corporates showing up. Awesome. Business, okay. So it's still inclined more towards corporate as of now. Let me see a few more responses. Okay, so looks like it's a mix of both corporates and business. Since today we are going to talk about how to grow 5x in your career, how many of you really want to grow 5x? Say me in the chat box, please. Only if you're interested, no pressure. Only if you want to grow 5x, नहीं तो x भी चलेगा, 2x भी चलेगा. लेकिन ये सेशन अगर समझ में आ गया और एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया, तो 5x growth is a done deal. Let me see how many of us want it. I want to be a rich stock trader, a freelancer, Krishna, fantastic. Why not? So be it, so be it, so be it. Okay, great. So Mangesh and Sneha and Krishna, Rahul, everybody wants to grow 5x. Awesome. Awesome. Super. So 5x in your career means what? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to grow 5x? Now, I want you to answer in one word. Is it about money? 5x times my income? Is it about my fame? 5x times more popular? Is it about my experience and knowledge? 5x times more knowledgeable? If it is all, that's also the right answer. There is no wrong answer. Abdul, I see your hand up. Do you want to share something? Abdul, you can unmute. Navneet, just see if you can unmute him if he wants to share. You can put your hand up if you want to share something while we are on with our discussion, guys. Or chat box is the best way to interact. I'm looking at it closely. So only money, super clear, boss. 5x matlab 5x times the money. Okay, all 5 times better, Sunil. I absolutely get that. All money, knowledge, and growth. And yes, even if your focus is only on money, what will add to it, what will come with it as bonus is knowledge and growth. They all go together to ensure 5x growth, and not just 5x growth, but sustainable growth. Sustainable growth मतलब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि हम एक peak पे गए और फिर drop, and then फिर थोड़ा ऊपर गए और फिर drop. It has to be maintained as well. And that, when you get that sustenance is when you are there for a longer period, and then you create your path for the next 5x. Okay, so are you all ready to grow 5x? Say ready in the chat box, guys. Let me see how many of us are like super ready. Give it to me. Give me the path, Yukti. I want to know exactly how to grow 5x. Okay. Yeah, great question here. Phoenix, you're asking me a very important question, and that's my question back to you. In how much time do you think you can grow 5x? कुछ ऐसा time indication दीजिए chat box में, मतलब practically बात करें तो 5 साल लग सकते हैं, 2 साल लग सकते हैं. How much time do you want to give to yourself to grow 5x? Let's see that in the chat box, guys. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. 5 years, Phoenix says 5 years. Isha says 1 year. Lakshya says 5 years. Around 1 year, Mangesh. Okay, so 2 years. So somebody says 1 year, somebody says 2 years, somebody says 5 years. Sooner the better, Priyanka. And I couldn't have agreed more. What if I say it can take you just 15 days? But 15 days of commitment and hard work. Sounds like a deal. Give me deal in the chat box. Say deal in the chat box, guys, if you are super excited to know exactly how to grow 5x in just 15 days. Deal means you are giving me a commitment that you will do exactly what I'm asking you to do in the next 15 days. And then you have a clear path to grow 5x. That's my guarantee. All right, great. 15 days deal with knowledge, grow with and reach milestones. Absolutely, Abdul. So deal, okay. Some of us are very clear and ready to make this deal. And for those, I want to now introduce to you what do you need to learn and how do you grow 5x in your chosen career. Okay, so I'm just going to share my deck with you, and I want to encourage you to sit back comfortably in your pajamas or wherever, in whichever way you are sitting right now, but please pay full attention to what is going on here. Okay, I will keep encouraging you to put your comments in the chat box. So हम chat box से interact करते रहेंगे. That's very, very important, guys. All right, so be with me 100%. Bring yourself here 100%. अगर कोई और कुछ और बात कर रहा है, just let those people be. Give yourself these 90 minutes because this is going to be a game changer for you all. Okay, let's get started with our masterclass on how to grow 5x in your career. Let me start by sharing a small story from my own life. So when I was in school, I was one of the many who were like chilling out and enjoying school life till 10th standard, when I finally took things for granted, because 10th में boards होता है और boards के marks सबको बताने पड़ते हैं. So वो marks थोड़े से अच्छे आने चाहिए, इसलिए थोड़ी ज्यादा मेहनत करी और मेहनत का फल भी मिला, अच्छे marks आए. But वो marks से clarity नहीं आई कि आगे क्या करना है. So then what did I do? I did whatever everybody else was doing. And this is another bias. It's called group thinking bias or herd mentality. Means जो सब लोग कर रहे हैं वो ठीक ही होगा, सब लोग ही एमबीए कर रहे हैं, सब लोग ही डॉक्टर बन रहे हैं, सब लोगों ने साइंस ले ली तो हमने भी ले ली, सब लोगों ने मैथ्स ऑनर्स किया तो हमने भी कर लिया. लेकिन मैथ्स ऑनर्स करने के बाद पता चला कि एक्चुअली मुझे स्टैट्स ऑनर्स करना था. एंड दिस इज द टाइम व्हेन engineering and doctor were the only two good career options, right? How many of you understand what I'm saying? Just say me in the chat box. Those times when दो career होते थे, या तो engineer बन जाओ या तो डॉक्टर बन जाओ, नहीं तो किसी इंजीनियर या डॉक्टर से शादी कर लो. मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया, दोनों में से एक चीज भी नहीं की, ना तो डॉक्टर बने ना इंजीनियर बने, ना किसी इंजीनियर या डॉक्टर से शादी की. बट आई एम एट अ वेरी हैप्पी प्लेस इन माय लाइफ एंड आई विल टेल यू व्हाई. राइट? सो राइट नाउ लेट्स लुक एट सम मिस्टेक्स. तो मिस्टेक क्या थी? हर्ड मेंटालिटी. जो सब कर रहे हैं वो कर लिया, सबने साइंस लिया हमने ले लिया, सबने मैथ्स पकड़ा हमने भी मैथ्स पकड़ा, ग्रेजुएशन खत्म हो गई, नाउ व्हाट? That's the next turning point in your life. अब क्या करें? Because 3 साल ग्रेजुएशन में आपको कोई डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता, because you have a good answer. कोई पूछेगा आप क्या कर रहे हो? भाई मैं तो ये कोर्स कर रही हूँ, right? तो everybody is quiet. But what will you do after that is the next decision. So MBA करने के बाद सब लोग क्या करते हैं? बैंक में नौकरी करते हैं. तो हमने क्या किया? बैंक में नौकरी की. So I started working with Citi. But here is the catch, guys. From my first job onwards, and I spent a decade in my banking, my corporate life. From Citi, I moved to Barclays, 5 years of Citi, 5 years of Barclays, and then I plunged into entrepreneurship. But in every single job or every single day at work, I have tried my best to give my 100%. Uska kya fayda hua? I could connect with senior people much faster in terms of networking. And usse kya hua? I got to understand what do I need to look at to grow within the organization. Right? What kind of skill is required? How do I upskill myself? How do I prepare myself for the next level? Before I get promotion, I need to be ready for the role in my mind. That was my sole aim. So the confusion was not कि banking मेरा passion है कि नहीं, banking मेरा obsession है कि नहीं, banking मेरा profession है. And that standalone is a good reason for me to give my 100%. So let's get this right. Every passion doesn't have to become a profession. Every profession doesn't have to be your passion. They can be two separate things. At one point in time, you will see how they merge. As long as you give yourself a chance to be 100% committed to whatever you are doing right now. Uski wajah se kya hua? Every second year, I got promoted in my career. I joined as a management trainee and I quit as a vice president. And this was one of the fastest growth trajectories that people saw in the banking career. The reason why I quit was because the next promotion was not exciting me. And I felt that I was restricted in terms of what I really want to do with my life. And so I plunged into entrepreneurship, right? And put every mistake I made and every good thing I did together to create a business. Okay, so what is the lesson that you're taking away from the story so far? What is the lesson? Give me some takeaway so far, and I'll tell you why I'm sharing this story with you. When we talk about 5x career growth, guys, we've got to understand where am I right now? What is my status quo? And then I've got to commit to giving it my best. Then I have to create the next 5 steps, right? So Phoenix says, be proactive to be responsible for your growth. Absolutely right. Give 100%, Rahul, 100% to whatever you're doing to gain better networks. Absolutely. Follow your passion, but be honest to your profession. And that is a mantra which will bring food to the table, and it will help you enjoy that food together with people you love. So please don't take this responsibility as a burden. कि अरे यार मुझे कमाना पड़ेगा, मुझे खाना लाना पड़ेगा टेबल पे. Poor me. You have to stop playing a victim, guys. right? Ki bechari mein, bechara mein, I can't follow my passion. What you've got to do is do your profession so well that you have enough resources to go deeper with your passion and understand what your passion is and give that a fair chance too. It is this and that. It is not this or that. It is not passion or profession. It's both, right? But you've got to be committed towards both. Half-hearted, half attempt नहीं चलेगा because उसके results फटाफट दिखते हैं. जब कुछ आप half-hearted करते हो अपने आप पता चलता है, right? Results भी पता चलते हैं. So you've got to do it with 100% responsibility, then see the magic. Then see what kind of people will start looking at you. You will get attention from right people. These people will be your support to find, identify your passion, and then, God willing, make that passion into your profession. Okay? Make sense? Just say MS in the chat box if it makes sense. Should be clear what you want to do. Yeah, Lakshay, you should be clear what you want to do, but that can also shift and that can change, and that's all right. Does not mean you're fickle-minded. It means you're an explorer, and exploring is very, very important in life, right? Awesome. Makes sense. Super. So let's get back to moving on to your path towards 5x growth. Okay, guys. So we'll start with a reality check. Okay. Reality check kya hai? Reality check is basis some data that I have put together for you. Now, one request that I want to make to you all from here on is stop believing in people's opinion. Start challenging them for facts. And think about it. Think about it honestly. हम कितनी बारी लोगों के views पे ही एक decision ले लेते हैं. Classic example, Amazon. When we shop on Amazon, what is the criteria of shopping? Give it to me in the chat box, please. How do you decide kya kharidna hai? Let's see. How do you decide what to buy? So if you think that you want, say any object, say I want to buy a cell phone, what do? You start reading reviews. Absolutely right. And what are reviews? Reviews are what people feel. And when lots of people give it a 5 on 5, what do we start feeling? Ye product best of us. Let's go for it. Right? So that is a typical example of social proof or herd mentality. Now, someone like you who is now in the room is going to do things differently. How? You are also going to dig out some facts and stats on what you are looking to buy. You will look for multiple sources. I'm going to come to that in a while. But whenever you are understanding a landscape, guys, research is a very, very important step to take. Always dive into some research to understand what are the facts and not get carried away with what 5 people think or what 50 people think, right? So kya hai hamara reality check? Very shocking, and you will know why in a while. So there is a study that goes to prove that 10,000 baby boomers are retiring each day, right? And 48% of the workforce will be millennials by 2020, which is already achieved. We are in fact now 51% of millennials taking over all corporate space and business environment, right? So what does that mean? 67% of millennials are looking for a new job, which is all of you here in the room. And of those, 91% plan to stay at their current job for less than 3 years, right? They want to move out. पहले क्या होता था? हर एक का ऑब्जेक्टिव होता था एक अच्छी जॉब मिल जाए और उसमें 20-25 साल निकल जाए, वहां से पेंशन आए और ग्रेच्युटी मिल जाए, लाइफ सेट है. Now it is the other way around. Now what is it? What people want? People want to learn from multiple environments and multiple sources. So they don't want to stick to a job for more than 3 years. और उसका क्या impact है? उसका impact ये है that 84% of organizations are anticipating a shortfall in their leadership. Obviously, right? अगर कोई एक job में 3 साल के ऊपर रहेगा ही नहीं, तो organic promotions नहीं होंगी, which means leadership gaps will always exist. 83% of organizations say it is important to develop leaders, but only 5% have fully implemented a development plan. 83% को पता है leaders important है, लेकिन invest सिर्फ 5% companies कर रही हैं. 25% of organizations say that less than 10% of critical leadership positions have ready and willing successors. Matlab, less than 10% people in the organization are ready to be promoted to the next level. This is what 25% of global companies feel. Right? So, iska kya matlab hai? What does it all boil down to? It boils down to one simple fact, the bottom line, and that is more money is spent on leadership development than any other area of corporate learning. Yet, 71% of companies do not feel their leaders are able to lead their organization into the future. That is the leadership gap which exists. And it is shocking. Why? Because we all think that we are leaders. And the moment you become a manager, then it kind of comes with this seal and stamp. Ab to aap leader ban gaye kyunki aap leadership role mein ho. But that's not true. How many of us in our career have worked with somebody who is not a leader, did not have leadership qualities? Just see me in the chat box, guys. Right? Me. So many of us, we work with people and they are in leadership role, but they don't have the leadership qualities. So what happens when they don't have leadership quality? You are not able to bring in your 100%, right? Because you don't like the person you work with. And when you don't bring in your 100%, what happens? Your performance is not that top 1% or 2%. And when you are not performing that well, what happens? Your career starts slowing down. People quit people. People don't quit organizations. Let's remember that. You don't quit an organization because you don't like the logo. Yaar, iska color combination na mera favorite nahi hai. I don't like yellow. Iske logo mein yellow hai. That's the reason why I'm quitting this company. We don't do that, right? We don't do that because the company's turnover is XYZ. We do that because we are not able to work with these people we have to work with. Sometimes they are your bosses. Sometimes they are your peers. Sometimes they could even be your one downs, making life miserable for you. Ultimately, your success is in your hands. Get this clear, guys. We've got to take responsibility of our own ability to connect with people and not wait for the best people to come to my life. कि यार इतने अच्छे bosses मिल जाए मुझे और इतने obedient one downs हो कि मतलब then I will give my 100%. Then I will grow 5x. Not happening. Why? Because you can't even change your own children. You can't change your own spouse or parents. What you will change other people you are just working with. And that's not even a great goal to have. What is a great goal? Great goal is to work on yourself, to make yourself a better leader. Because when you become a better leader, that light goes beyond you and creates a great place to work. Only great leaders create a great place to work. So if you don't like the environment, you change the environment. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world outside. And it's not just an esoteric statement. It is true. When you become a better person, you will automatically see more goodness in the world around you. And that is why it is important to look at leadership as a skill. And I'm going to come to that in a while. I'm just picking up some comments here. What about if we are in the leadership position and people under us do not want to obey us? Well, there are lots of tricks in the bag that can be used. It's called a skill to manage team. Team management is a skill. It's a subset of leadership skills. So I'm going to talk to you about a few skills that you have to start mastering in the next 15 days. And Priyanka, your question will be answered right there. So hold on to it. Let's go back to our slides. And I hope you all are ready with your notepad. Are you? Yes, give me a yes in the chat box. I want you to make a note of what you are learning. क्या realize हो रहा है आपको? क्या decisions ले रहे हो आप? क्या नया सीखा? क्या insight अच्छी लगी? I need you to write all that down. And let us also do one thing, if I may request you to activate the WhatsApp group. Navneet, can you just open the WhatsApp group we have so that everyone can share what you are taking away in the group, right? And I will tell you what more we will do in that group later. Okay, great. So let's take the next step forward now that we know that there is an opportunity of 71% to be bridged, where people are waiting for you to come in and add value. The question is, how can you add value? Because if you find that, nothing can stop you from growing 5x. You add that value by learning leadership. Leadership is a skill that can be learned. What is important is to know what to learn. Because the fact is that in leadership alone, there are more than 100 skills, right? Ab 100 skills to hum nahi seekh sakte. And that's when I came across a very interesting list of top 10 skills that I want to share with you all that World Economic Forum has released. Before we get there, let's look at 4S that will take you towards success. Please make this diagram in your notepad, because when you do that, you will remember 47% better, right? When you write, you retain 47% better. Okay. When we want to grow in our career, we understand that growth is a pyramid, right? Now, the bottom of this pyramid that takes you towards leadership growth to become a level 5 leader is called self-development. Self-development is the foundation of your leadership growth. Self-development क्या है? आपके personality development skills. वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. It can be, भाई मुझे अपने confidence पे काम करना है. The way I carry myself can be better. Yeah. I get angry very easily. I have to manage my anger. Now, or I need to improve the way I talk. I'm not able to talk in front of people. I'm too shy. I have to open up. I need to network better. All these are self-development goals, personality development goals. ये सब goals हमें अपने लिए identify करने बहुत जरूरी है. And the best way to do that is called running a personal SWOT. What does SWOT stand for? Anybody? Just put it in the chat box, please. Everyone has heard of SWOT, right? क्या है full form SWOT का? I'm waiting in the chat box. Let's see how many of us know. SWOT, where S, yes, Sunil, absolutely. S is your strength, W is your weakness, O is opportunity, and T is threat. Personal SWOT means what are my personal strengths, not professional, personal strengths, weaknesses, what are the opportunities that lie in front of me, what are the threats that I might face. Now, there is a full 1 hour webinar I have done on personal SWOT, which is on our YouTube channel. Our handle is Yukti Mehndiratta and SBY Academy. Just look out for it and subscribe. I want you to go through this video and spend that 1 hour with a pen and pencil and a paper and do this SWOT yourself. Okay, you can find some time tomorrow or anytime soon, run a personal SWOT. वहां से आपको आपके self development goals मिलेंगे. You've got to have at least 3 goals for this year. Okay, say deal in the chat box if you are with me, you're committing on this, that okay, deal, I'm going to do a personal SWOT, right? Navneet, just put the YouTube our YouTube channel handle in the chat box. Okay, great, deal. Okay, super. So this is your homework, guys. ये आपको करना ही है. Ideally संडे तक, कल तक आपका पर्सनल स्वॉट आपके सामने एक पेपर पे होना चाहिए. Once you are clear about these 3 goals, next step क्या है? Skill development. Skill development means things which you are supposed to learn, skills that you have to learn to be better at your current job or current business. Once you learn that, then you move to stakeholder level. Stakeholder level is how to get work done from other people, how to take people along, how to make sure that the teams are managed well. So that is the next level of leadership. So starts with personal development, then what skills I need, then how do I manage stakeholders, and then comes spirituality. How do I go within to connect with myself and lead from inside out? So we at SBY Academy offer a flagship program called Spiritual Leadership. It's called as Upskilling Leadership Mastery. It's there on our website, sbyacademy.com. Go through it. This is a live course, guys, and it's already rolled out. So this year's registrations are closed, but next year, January, we'll launch a new batch. Look out for it. This is a very special and exclusive course on just spiritual leadership. How to connect with yourself and find who you are and use that to lead others. But वो थोड़ा long-term goal है. अभी short-term goal क्या है? Personal level पे what development I need, which will come from my SWOT, and skill development में हमारे क्या 3 objectives होने चाहिए. What are the things I need to learn? What skills do I need to learn to get to next level to gain 5x growth in my career? Okay, ma'am, can you please send the link for personal SWOT? Navneet, please do that. Just share the link of that video in the chat box. He will put that up. We'll also put it on the WhatsApp group, guys. So let's now look at the 10 skills I was talking to you about. All right. Now, these are the top 10 skills which World Economic Forum says will be very important in 2025. Bhai, isko likh lo. Okay. You can take a picture of this slide also, but write it down. So very quickly, I'm going to read analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design, resilience, stress management, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Okay. Now, it is said that to master any skill, you need to spend 10,000 hours, right? Now, if you are mastering 10 skills, how much time will it require? 10,000 hours अगर हमें एक स्किल को मास्टर करने में लगते हैं, तो 10 स्किल को मास्टर करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा? Let us do this simple math problem. Give me the answer in the chat box, guys. Question is this: 10,000 hours एक स्किल को लगते हैं, तो 10 skills को कितना टाइम लगेगा? 1 lakh hours, Sunil. Right? Is that right? Absolutely right. So which means how many hours do I need to spend in a day if I want to master one skill this year? एक साल में कितने दिन होते हैं? How many days do we have, guys, in a year? Quickly in the chat box. 365. Superb, Sunil. Fastest finger first, Isha. 365. And एक स्किल को लर्न करने के लिए कितने घंटे चाहिए? 10,000. तो एक दिन में कितने घंटे पढ़ना पड़ेगा? Anybody quickly do the math? एक दिन में कितने घंटे पढ़ना पड़ेगा? 10,000 by 365 is how much? Quickly, guys. How many hours in a day do you have to study to master one skill out of these 10? अरे calculator use कर लो. 7 hours? Wrong answer. No, I'm not saying how many hours can you invest. 27 hours, Priyanka. Absolutely right. और एक दिन में कितने घंटे होते हैं? कितने घंटे होते हैं? 24. So that means if I want to master one skill in 1 year out of these 10 skills, I cannot master all 10 by 2025. Are you clear about this? Say got it in the chat box. Say I got it. Even if there is one skill I want to master, I will not be able to spend 27 hours जो दिन में होते ही नहीं है. Even if it is 24, I cannot spend all 24 hours just studying one skill, right? Why? So what is important here? What is important is to see what do I need to learn out of these 10 first, and what is the fastest way for me to learn? What do I need to learn out of these 10 skills? What about these skills do I need to learn? And what is the fastest way for me to learn it? Right? Are you ready to know the answer to these 3 questions? Selection on the basis of priority. Yes, Priyanka. But there is a way to prioritize for all of us. No matter what your background is, what your industry is, these 4 skills that I'm going to tell you out of these 10 have to be the first 4 that you need to master. Okay, are you ready to know what these 4 skills are? Say ready in the chat box, guys. Let's see how many of us are ready. Ready? Isha is ready. Okay. Mostag ready. Super. Sneha done. Okay, great. So let us know exactly how to take the next step forward. What do I need to learn first? Now, what you need to learn should satisfy 4 criteria, guys. इसको ध्यान से सुनना है, because बहुत सारे व्यूज आते हैं, बहुत सारे ज्ञानी लर्नर वाइज लोग हैं इस दुनिया में जो आपको बहुत अलग अलग आंसर्स देते हैं एक ही क्वेश्चन का. मुझे क्या सीखना चाहिए? एक का आंसर कुछ और है, दूसरे का आंसर कुछ और है, युक्ति ने आज कुछ और बोला. सो इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कौन क्या बोल रहा है, ये 4 क्राइटेरियाज फुलफिल होने चाहिए व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम एंड मनी इन लर्निंग अ स्किल. व्हाट आर दीज 4 क्राइटेरियाज? नंबर 1, it should be a skill that should help you in your current role. Guys, learning is a very conscious effort. Random learning से कोई फायदा नहीं है. अगर कोई फ्री वेबिनार है कर लिया तो मुझे लगा आज मैंने कुछ लर्न किया है, नो पॉइंट. अगर कोई बुक मिल गई या सस्ती बुक है या किसी ने फ्री गिफ्ट कर दी वो पढ़ ली, नो पॉइंट. कोई कोर्स फ्री चल रहा है आजकल वो कर लिया, नो पॉइंट. Don't just pick up things which come to you, which fall on your lap. Go get it. You have to be a go-getter, but first you've got to know what do you need to get? Karna kya exactly? Which skill do I need to learn? So let's look at it very practically, right? the first thing that every skill should satisfy that you are about to learn is, ये मेरे current role में ये skill मुझे help करेगी कि नहीं? अगर नहीं करेगी तो वो मेरी priority नहीं है, बाद में सीखेंगे. Important skill है, अभी नहीं सीख सकते. Right? I need to right now look at a skill which is going to help me in my current role. First thing. So it should be a skill that is required. The second skill, the second criteria is it should be something which also prepares me for the next level. सिर्फ करंट रोल अच्छा नहीं होना चाहिए, नेक्स्ट लेवल के लिए भी मुझे तैयारी करनी है ताकि प्रमोशन में मुझे कंसिडर किया जाए या मेरा टर्नओवर ज्यादा जल्दी ग्रो हो. आई नीड टू ग्रो 5x बॉस. नोबडी इन दिस रूम इज समबडी हु वांट्स टू ग्रो x. इज दैट राइट? Everybody here is someone who is clear that I've got to grow 5x. So how do you get there? You've got to find a skill which is going to help you with your current job and prepare you for the next job. ये दो important criteria fulfill करने के बाद, I also need to see it should be delivered to me in a way that is practical and applicable. 30,000 feet ज्ञान से कोई फायदा नहीं. मुझे स्किल ऐसे समझनी है, ऐसे सीखनी है कि आज अगर सीखी तो कल implement हो जाए. I should be able to just implement my learning in my real life. That is how it should be taught. So when you're picking up a source to learn, you've got to see this. How can I learn in a way that the provider of that course or that webinar is giving me a real practical way to apply the knowledge? And lastly, it should easily fit into my calendar, my time, my availability. And sometimes that fitting is not easy. But that's where your commitment will come handy. You have to commit to your learning. Someone like me would invest 30 minutes of conscious learning every day and 2 hours every weekend. That's my commitment towards my learning. And I have been doing this for now almost 8.5 years of half an hour learning every day and 2 hours every weekend. And that's why I am where I am. And I can proudly say that I'm here much faster than anybody else who probably started the journey with me. Because you can never sit back and think, अब मुझे सब आता है, अब तो ये अवार्ड भी मिल गया, वो अवार्ड भी मिल गया, अब तो टर्नओवर भी इतना अच्छा है, सब अच्छा है. I know my stuff. You never know. In fact, it takes a wise person to know that no matter how much you know, there is so much more to know still. Only a fool believes that I know enough. But a wise person knows that there is so much more to learn. Right? Okay, so I'm just picking up some comments here and taking a break from the discussion. A square box is appearing on your top right. Okay, that is my chat window open. That is why, so I'm just going to push it aside. All right, so the conscious learning means every time new topic, not necessary, Priyanka, not necessary. Conscious learning means being clear about what you want to learn. Consciously learn. Don't learn things because they're easy to learn or they're free, right? Or you have time. आज चलो कुछ ज्यादा करने को है नहीं, वीकेंड पे वेबिनार ही अटेंड कर लेते हैं. You've got to be clear, boss, why should I be here? Am I committed to 5x growth? If Yukti tells me something in this webinar, am I ready to do it? Then it makes sense for me to invest my 1.5 hours here, right? Otherwise, what you can watch Netflix. That is a better utilization of time, or play with your kids or parents or your family members. Better utilization of time. Choose what you want to learn. Choose where you want to invest your time. These are conscious decisions that you have to make, right? So I'm glad you're here, because from here, you will become even more conscious about what you are going to invest your time and money in from here on. Okay, so what are these 4 skills that you need to learn? When I ask this question to a group of people, one skill that comes always in majority is, what do you think? What is the guess? One skill that everybody says, boss, ye to seekhna hi padega. Give it to me in the chat box, guys. Communication. Absolutely, Isha. Right answer. Communication. Why? Because communication is so broad. There is so much within communication. Kya seekhna hai? How to talk, how to connect with people, how to make your written communication better, how to communicate to not be misunderstood, how to communicate to create an impact, how to communicate as a public speaker, how to communicate as a leader. There are so many things within communication, and there is always scope to learn it a little better, right? Now, other than communication, there are 3 other C's which you have to prioritize if you want to grow 5x in your career. And I'm saying this again, this is tested COVID positive, which means even in COVID times, we have seen these 4 skills being as useful as they were before COVID and they will be just as useful even after COVID, whenever this gets over. Nothing about these 4 skills in terms of importance has come down. What are these 4 skills? Communication is one. What are the other 3 C's, guys? I showed you for a second. If you quickly note it down, you will know. Otherwise, let's see how many of you can guess. Leadership and effective communication. I'm taking that in communication. Okay, understanding people's psychology, how they perceive, which means understanding people, which means collaboration. Connecting with people is collaboration. That's right. That's the next C. Creativity, RK, absolutely right. That's the 3rd C. And the 4th is, so creativity, collaboration, communication. Ek C aur hai, which has to be the top priority for everyone. What is that? Consistent. You have to be consistent about everything you do. So I will take that as an attitude that you have to be consistent with everything you commit to do. Clarity, very important first step, but that's not a skill. Right? Critical thinking is the skill. RK, absolutely right. Yeah, so let's look at these 4 skills again. Communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. These are the 4 skills that you have to consciously learn. Now, this is where conscious learning comes in, Priyanka. I've got to first know how good am I on a scale of 10 on all these 4 skills. Then my next step is, how do I improve and take this forward? How do I improve each one of these 4 skills? So would you like to know where you are on these 4 skills? Give me a yes in the chat box. If you want to know, okay, boss, what is the way to find out how good am I on communication, collaboration, critical thinking? Yeah, you want to know? You want to know it now? Just give me yes in all caps if you want to know it now. Let's do it now. Yeah, awesome. Excited? Excited? I want to see all caps. Yes, caps is like, you know, Rakesh is like screaming out loud from the screen. Yes, yes, super. Okay, be ready to find out what is the status quo for you on each one of these 4 skills. Before which, I want to share with you the course that we have designed, which is a choice and option that you have to consider, where we have put together all these 4 C's and utilized more than 50 different resources globally to pick up everything that you need to learn on each one of these 4 C's and sum it up in a way that you're able to master all 4 skills in just 15 days. Sounds interesting? Just say interesting in the chat box, and then I'll tell you more about it later. Okay, I'm removing the chat box. It's blocking the screen. Okay, let me say interesting in the chat box if you think it's interesting. That while there are so many hours to be spent, what we have done is we have curated the course so sharply that we've been able to put together all 4 of them and put it out to you in a way that you can consume and master it in 15 days, provided you spend 1 hour of your time every day. Just 1 hour for the next 15 days. Possible? Say possible in the chat box, guys. If you think it's possible that you are committing 1 hour only a day, and I promise you after 15 days, you will master all 4 skills in a way that they are practical, they are implementable, and they fit into your real life scenario. Okay, so if you think it is possible, I'm going to tell you how to learn from this course in a while. First, let us get ready to find our status quo. Where am I? So when we look at Upskilling Leadership Blueprint, the 15 days course that helps you master these 4 C's, it falls in this part of the pyramid, skill development. Self-development is the goal that you are creating for yourself. Once you do the personal SWOT, we will share the video link on WhatsApp. After you design those goals, straight start focusing on skill development, which starts with learning these 4 C's that you will learn from Upskilling Leadership Blueprint. And I will tell you how to grab this course. Okay, but first, let's go through these 2 sections. Here comes a quick test that I want you to take. Now, listen to me carefully. I want you to read each one of these 14 statements and answer honestly whether you don't do this at all or do it rarely, sometimes, often, very often. Simple. So, for example, when people talk to me, I try to see their perspective. जब मुझसे लोग बात करते हैं तो मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि उनका पर्सपेक्टिव समझूं, उनका पर्सपेक्टिव देखूं. अगर ये मैं हमेशा करूं, देन इट इज वेरी ऑफन. अगर ये कभी कभी होता है, देन इट इज समटाइम्स, राइट? और अगर ये नहीं होता है बॉस, लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट, आई डोंट सी अदर पीपल्स पर्सपेक्टिव, देन इट इज अ नॉट एट ऑल और रेयरली. Please avoid choosing the midway. Avoid sometimes if possible. Say whether you do it, not at all, rarely, yeah, often, very often. Clear? Just say clear in the chat box, guys, if you're clear about this, and I will tell you how to calculate your scores. And after this very short exercise, you will know exactly where you stand on these 4 C's. Clear? Okay. Chalo, let's get started. I am going to read out each one of these 14 statements. Okay. If you have any doubt on any statement, give me the number of that statement in the chat box. Matlab, agar statement 9 samajh mein nahi aaya, just put 9 in the chat box and I will explain that further. Okay. Let's get started. Are you ready? Say ready in the chat box, guys. Say ready. Awesome. Okay. अब आपको करना क्या है? आपके नोटबुक में आपको नंबर्स लिखने हैं 1 to 14. फटाफट. 1 to 14. This is section 1. Okay. And then there are 16 more statements, few more statements, which is section 2. Overall, there are 25 statements. All right. So for first 14 is section 1. First statement, if your answer is not at all, you will give yourself 1 point. If your answer is very often, you will give yourself 5 points. Do you see it here? For every question where you are taking not at all as an answer, aap 1 point likhoge. And for every question where rarely is your answer, 2 points, sometimes ke 3 points, likewise, very often is 5 points. Right? Simple? Let's start. Statement 1. When people talk to me, I try to see their perspective. Do you do it very often or not at all or in between? Second statement. When talking to people, I pay attention to their body language. When I talk to people, I pay attention to their body language. Third, before I communicate, I think about what the person needs to know and how best to convey it. जब मैं communicate करूं किसी से, तो I think, तो मैं सोचती हूँ इस बारे में कि कैसे उसके सामने बात रखनी है. What is the best way to convey what I want to convey? I consciously think and then communicate. If you do this rarely, कभी-कभी करते हो आप, तो 2. अगर आप ये काफी बारी करते हो, तो 4. अगर आप हर बारी करते हो, आपको लगता है, तो 5. Clear? Okay. Fourth statement. I gather information from wide variety of sources to stay current with what's happening in my field of work. Right? I always go to multiple sources to find out. Statement number 5. When solving a problem, I try to rethink my current understanding of an issue to develop deeper insight into it. तो जब मेरे सामने कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है, तो मैं उसके डेप्थ में जाना पसंद करती हूँ. I find out more information and go deeper into that problem statement to understand the problem. This is what I do. Please be honest, because this exercise is not about looking good. It's about finding out where do I stand. And if I don't know my status quo, I cannot make any plan for improvement, right? So let's be very honest. Statement number 6. I look for things in my environment to inspire me to find new interpretations of problems. Matlab, I'm always looking for ways to get inspired and find different interpretations of the current problem. 7th statement. After a solution has been implemented, I immediately look for ways to improve the idea and avoid future problems. When I get into the implementation stage of a problem, I look for ideas to avoid this problem in the future. 8th statement. To avoid asking the wrong question, I take care to define each problem carefully before trying to solve it. I try to define the problem statement very carefully. 9th statement. I strive to look at problems from different perspectives and generate multiple solutions. I always strive to look at a problem through multiple perspectives and generate multiple solutions. 10th statement. I evaluate the risks associated with each alternative before making a decision. बहुत कम लोग ये करते हैं, right? What? That अगर आप कोई decision ले रहे हैं, तो आप हर decision, हर possible solution का risk evaluate करें, right? So I evaluate the risk associated with each alternative before making a decision. 11th statement. I try to determine the real issue before starting a decision-making process. I try to understand what is the real issue before I get into a decision-making process. If you don't do this at all, you will give yourself 1 point. If you do this very often, 5 points, right? First 11 done, just say done in the chat box. 11 done, then I'm going to read out the last 3. Done. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Super. And others, take your time. I'm going to give you a few more seconds on the screen. We all need to complete this nicely so that we know our status quo. Okay. 12th statement kya hai? When providing feedback, I wait until I've observed enough incidents of a behavior to make a generalized statement that is accurate. So before making any generalized statement, right, what do? I wait to observe enough incidents that prove that. For example, किसी को ये declare कर दो कि आप तो भाई हमेशा late आते हो. That's a general statement, right? Or I observe कि अगर हम लोग की 10 meetings हुई हैं एक महीने में, last month में, तो आप 3 बारी late आए हो. That is not always. But अगर आप 8 बारी 9 बारी late आए हो, then I can generalize it, saying that punctuality is your problem. You are always late. So see, if you generalize basis incidences, or you just land up generalizing. When providing feedback, when you're giving feedback to somebody, you wait to observe enough incidences of a behavior before generalizing a statement. 13th statement kya hai? I go along with others' decision rather than inject my ideas into the mix. I go ahead with what other people are deciding. Last statement kya hai? During times of conflict, I think about how to preserve the relationship and still get my needs met. I value relationships even if there is a conflict, and I still get my needs met. If that doesn't happen with you at all, you will give yourself a 1. If it happens very often, 5. All done? Just say all done in the chat box if you're done with section 1. All done? Take your time. Take your time. Isha, super fast. Awesome. Phoenix, super. Lakshay, great. If you can change your name to something I can remember you by, that will be great. Would love to connect with you guys on LinkedIn as well. Please follow me on LinkedIn. Yukti Mehendirata is my handle. And we also have SBY Academy as a handle on LinkedIn. Let's stay connected and keep learning, guys. Mangesh, Divya, done. Awesome. RK, done. Super. Sunil, superb. Sunil has calculated the scores also. Fantastic, Sunil. Really good. You're good with math, it seems. So you've got a 45. There are 14 questions. What is the highest possible score? Anybody? Highest possible score? Kya hoga? 70? Is Mangesh right? It's not an exam. Yeah, absolutely, Vinesh. So you don't have to aim at getting the highest. What I'm asking is, what is the highest possible? That's all. So 70 is the highest possible. 14 into 5, right? What you got is a very good score. There is no bad score here, guys. And I will come to that in a bit. Okay. This was section 1. Now we'll move to section 2, another set of statements. The only change is you will see that the scoring is now in reverse order. Not at all ke liye aap apne aap ko 5 points denge, and very often ke liye 1 point, right? So just the scoring has now changed, and it's now the opposite to section 1. All right, let's get started. 15th statement. If I don't understand something, I tend to keep this to myself and figure it out later. Agar mujhe kuch nahi samajh mein aaya, I don't share it with people. I figure it out on my own. If the answer is not at all, you give yourself 5 points. If the answer is very often I do this, I don't ask, I figure it out later, then the score is 1. Clear? Say clear in the chat box, please. Super. Super. Clear, Vinesh. Awesome. Okay, great. 16th statement. I'm surprised to find that people haven't understood what I've said. I'm surprised that people have not understood. If that happens very often, I give myself 1. If that doesn't happen at all, 5. Otherwise, in between, 4, 3, 2. Right? 17th statement. I can tend to say what I think without worrying about how the other person perceives it. I assume that we'll be able to work it out later. So I say what I want to say. I don't worry about how other people are going to perceive it. And I assume that we will figure this out later. This is what I do. If I don't do this at all, 5 points. If I do this very often, 1. If I do it often, 2. Okay, next statement. When I'm coming up with ideas, I find myself using phrases like we can't do this, or we don't have these resources, or we don't have the support, right? I can't is something that I land up using very often. That's the 18th statement. Okay, if the answer is a big yes, then you give yourself 1, which is very often. I say that very often, then 1. If you say that often, then 2, and likewise 3, 4, and 5. Okay, next statement, statement number 19. I'm busy. As soon as I have a good idea, I move forward with implementation. I am busy. As soon as I get a good idea, I just go ahead, implement it. I don't have time to do anything much around it. I just go ahead and implement. That's what I do. 20th statement. I often ignore good ideas because I don't have the resources to implement them. I know they're good ideas, but I ignore them because I think I don't have the resources to implement them. That's a 20th statement. Done till 20? Say done in the chat box, guys. Last 5 to go. 20 done? Let's see, done in the chat box. Done. Super PD is done. Priyanka done. Vinesh done. Awesome. RK is done. Others quickly. Lakshay done. Super. Okay. Great. Now let's move to the last 5. 21st statement. I rely on my own experience to find potential solutions. I have enough experience. I rely on my experience to find potential solutions. 22. I tend to have a strong gut instinct and I rely on it in decision making. I use my gut instinct to make decisions. 23. While actively talking with someone, I have composed my answer before they have finished speaking. Very often this happens with many people, right? किसी ने बोलना खत्म किया नहीं और हमारे माइंड में ऑलरेडी स्टेटमेंट रेडी है कि हम क्या बोलने वाले हैं. If I do this very often, then 1. If I don't do this at all, then 5. Okay, second last statement, 24th statement. I speak first and think later. I speak first and then later I think ki kya bola. Lastly, I make sure everyone knows about my contribution to a positive outcome. When something good happens, I make sure everybody knows what was my contribution in that. Sometimes we do it. We all like acknowledgement. We all like appreciation. How honestly can you answer this is going to give you the real status quo on these 4 skills. All done? Say all done in the chat box, guys. If you want me to show you section 1 again, then you can request for it. I'll go back to that slide. All done? All done. Super. So what is the highest score possible? 25 statements. Kitna maximum score aa sakta hai? 125, right? So you are going to score yourself on 125. Now I will tell you how to add up. You don't need to add up only section 1 and section 2. I will tell you how to add up these scores to know which one of these 4 C's is your strength and which one is your weakness. Okay, before I tell you that, let's do some guess game. Okay, ready? So tell me, which one of these 4 C's do you think is your strength? क्या लगता है आपको? ये 4 skills में मतलब ये critical thinking तो boss I think मेरा strength है. Or communication. Vinesh said exactly that. Critical thinking is his skill he feels. Okay, let's see what scores say. Isha says communication is my strength. Priyanka says collaboration and communication both are my strength. Awesome. Okay, this is just your guess, right? We will know when we see the scores. And let me tell you, this is not a psychometric test. It is only a simple quiz that will give you an inclination that you have. Which skill are you more inclined to be better with? Which skill do you need to work a little more on? Simple. Okay. So collaboration, Mangesh को लगता है collaboration थोड़ा अच्छा ज़्यादा skill set है. I'm better at it compared to other C's. Critical thinking and collaboration for RK. Okay. Now, twist. Which one of these 4 skills do you think you are weakest at? सबसे weak मेरा skill critical thinking है. और मुझे लगता है कि इन चारों में से सबसे weak is collaboration for me. What is it? The weakest link. Critical thinking, Priyanka. Others? Creativity for Vinesh. Collaboration for Isha. Creativity is my weakness, Sunil. Now let me tell you, Sunil and Priyanka, let me tell you this. 67% of global CEOs are weak in critical thinking. Why? Because critical thinking is never taught to us in any format. Actually, none of these 4Cs are really taught in a structured manner, right? Even if you've done MBA, even if you've done it from an Ivy League college, there is no subject on just one of these 4Cs. You learn it. You stumble over it. It's more on the job learning or parallel learning. It's not focused learning. And that's what we've got to bring in, focused learning on these 4Cs. So let us now find out what the facts are, right? So get ready to follow the questions that I have mentioned on the slide. Question number 1, 2, 3, 15, 16, 17 के ऊपर आप एक circle लगा दो. Question number 1, 2, and 3, encircle that, and 15, 16, and 17. Now add your scores for these 6 questions. That is your total score for communication. Understood, guys? Right? Are you clear about this? So your answer to question number 1, 2, 3, 15, 16, and 17 will add up and give you your score on communication. That will be out of 30. Got it? Let's move to creativity. Now for creativity, instead of a circle, put a box if you want to on these questions. Question number 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 20. ये 6 questions का जो भी आपका score है इसको add up करो. That on 30 is your score for creativity. Got it? Say got it in the chat box, guys, if you're understanding what I'm saying. How are you going to calculate this? Got it? Okay. Critical thinking. Look at your answer for question number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 21, 22. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 21, 22. ये 7 questions का answer आप add करो आपके scores. That out of 35 is your critical thinking score. Okay. And collaboration is question number 12, 13, 14, 23, 24, 25. Out of 30, आपका जो response है in 6 questions के लिए उसको add up करो. That is your score for collaboration. Clear? Okay, once you're done, just give me your scores in the chat box for communication. What are your scores out of 30 for communication, people? Let's quickly have this out in the chat box, guys. Divya, 15, Isha, 25, others quickly. There is no good or bad score here. It is just your score right now. And let me tell you, it's going to be 5x better, 5x better in some time. 30, 30, 24, 21, super. Okay, now here's the question. How many of you have got highest score in communication? Say me in the chat box. Highest, आपका जो भी चारों में से जो भी score है, highest, still adding up. Finish, take your time. Highest communication में आ गया, पुष्पेंद्र. Okay, अभी lowest की बात करते हैं. Okay, इन चारों में से lowest skill क्या है आपके लिए? Just mention that skill in the chat box. That your lowest is in creativity. Super, Isha. Your lowest is in critical thinking. Let me see. Isha says creativity. Abdul, collaboration. Lakshay, creativity. RK, critical thinking. Collaboration, surprised. Absolutely. There had to be a surprise. Critical thinking, creativity, Pushpinder on awesome. Divya, creativity and critical thinking. Yes, it can be a tie also. Creativity got lowest. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that creativity is a skill which is not important for every profession? Is that a yes or a no? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box, guys. Not important. Yes, it's not important in every profession. Yeah, कुछ professions में creativity चाहिए, कुछ में नहीं चाहिए. Is that a yes? No. No. Abdul says no. Priyanka says no. And the answer is no. Absolutely, Isha. It is important. Creativity is not about being artistically creative. Creativity is our ability to think of multiple solutions within the box as much as we need to think of solutions outside of the box. Out of the box thinking and within the box thinking together help us come up with better solutions with what we have. अगर आपको कोई solution create करना हो और आप बोलो कि भाई अगर मुझे 4 लोग extra team में दे दो तो I can come up with something better. अगर आप मुझे मेरा budget बढ़ा दो तो I can come up with something better. There is no rocket science in that. You've not done anything substantial, right? But if you have the same budget, within that, how much can you come up with as against others? Same resources, same limitations. Thinking within the box is also creativity, as much as thinking out of the box is creativity. And creativity is not restricted to any one profession or industry. Every single profession that you choose to be in, every single industry that you can think of, you need to have creativity as a skill. It is not artistic creativity. It is the creativity to think out of the box and within the box at the same time. Okay, so excited? Are you excited to know how to make this 5x better? Let me see yes in the chat box. Okay, abhi humko pata chal gaya boss. Ye mera thoda strength hai, but strength does not mean full 10 on 10. It means that, okay, I am 8 or 9 on 10, but I need to take one more step, two more steps forward. And then there is this one skill just where abhi hum 4 or 5 pe hai, but doesn't mean that I'm bad. It just means I need to get better, right? Okay, now let us start creating our plan to move towards 5x. Now we know exactly what to work upon. So guys, our next step is going to be to understand each one of these 4 skills. And very quickly, I'm going to give you the best way to nail this and master this. Just go ahead and do it. And trust me, more than 1 lakh people have been coached and trained by us. And we know that this works. More than 1,500 people have gone through the courses that I'm talking to you about. And we know that it works. And I will show you a few case studies to explain to you how important it is to just go ahead with the plan that already is being made for you. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already sorted. People have walked this path. It works. It is your turn now to walk the path. But first, let's understand critical thinking. Mein hame kya seekhna hai? Critical thinking is our ability to solve problems and make better decisions, right? It is a balance between emotional and logical self. So please understand this. Critical thinking का मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि आप सिर्फ logically सोचते हो और आपको emotional नहीं होना है. Emotion is our strength. It becomes a weakness when we don't know how to manage these emotions. गुस्सा आया, टेबल फेंक दिया किसी के ऊपर, right? गुस्सा आया, ग्लास तोड़ दिया. या अगर कुछ अच्छा लगा तो सैलरी डबल कर दी. These are instances of getting carried away with emotions. Emotion is not a problem. Not knowing how to manage that, that is a problem. Once you learn how to manage that, creating the balance between the logical self and the emotional self, the right brain and the left brain, is critical thinking skill. Once you work on this, you get the balance right. Okay, I'm picking up this question, Pushpendra. How do we add up these skills as a social proof and 5x our career? I'm telling you exactly that. So sit back and listen to me carefully, Pushpendra. Okay, so in critical thinking, what do you need to learn? There are many things to learn. 10,000 hours spend करेंगे तो बहुत कुछ सीखेंगे, but हमारे पास 10,000 hours है नहीं, right? To give to every single skill. I want to grow 5x, and I'm going to do that very, very quickly. So I need to know what to learn. What you need to learn about critical thinking is critical thinking होता क्या है? How will it help me in creating a balance between my mind and my emotions? How do I apply this in solving real life problems and make better decisions? And how do I find practical ways in which I can develop this skill? Now, I want to show you a story, a case study of someone who is a senior vice president of a Tata company. And after learning this critical thinking skill from the ULB course, he was promoted in just the next 6 months and was involved in all the major projects of his company, right? So let's hear it out.
So I think coming from a corporate background and that too from the largest conglomerate, we are actually brought about in a certain fashion. Like, so being at the senior leadership level, we are all trained in strategy, and we follow a rigorous process called a balanced scorecard, which looks at a multi-stakeholder. And
guys, is it audible? Give me a yes in the chat box, please. Super, super.
Environment within the businesses. However, I felt that it was a revelation for me that the critical thinking skills for me is really poor. and I'm good at communication, good at creativity. So I really thought that there was something lacking in me which needs to be upgraded as I move ahead. Uh, so this has really helped me to discover that and plan my journey ahead into the further levels of leadership. And I aspire to be a servant leader. So this is really good. So I plan to continue my journey ahead. So brilliant takeaways, and the course delivery format also, because there has been, I suppose there have been win-wins for you as well. So I would like to congratulate for the course delivery format. The content was very well planned. The pedagogy has been very thought about in a very thoughtful manner. Like you've taken us through the master class, then also the leader speak, then small tidbits of information, TEDx talks. So I think it's very modern, and I look forward to engaging further on such courses like with you.
So that is a senior vice president of a Tata company talking about what he's learned from ULB Upskilling Leadership Blueprint course and how it has helped him to do a lot more. And I'm in touch with him still because he's picked up every single course that we have to offer at SBY Academy. Rakesh Bhatia goes a long way with us, and he's been able to do that because he's benefiting from what he's receiving. Right now, here is what you will learn in this journey, guys. And these are the most important things to learn about the course. अभी सीखने को बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं, but क्या सीखना जरूरी है? You got to learn what is critical thinking, what does it mean to you in your job as leaders, how will you apply critical thinking in real life scenario, what are the tools? I'm going to give you a few tools in this course, and then how to build critical thinking as your skill. Right now, I'm going to give you 3 tips to improve critical thinking. How many of you would like to have them? Just say me in the chat box. Let me see how many of you would like to go away with 3 practical tips that I can give you right away to work and improve your critical thinking. Okay, great. Isha, Rahul, RK, everyone is asking for it. And if you insist, here it is. Listen to this, guys. It's very, very important. The first tip that I want to share with you that will help you to improve your critical thinking is self-reflection. अभी जो आपने पूरी exercise की 25 statements answer किए, वो पूरा exercise was self-reflection. Why? You were thinking about yourself. Do I do this? ऐसी situation आती है तो मैं क्या करता हूँ? ऐसी situation आती है तो मैं कैसे behave करती हूँ? This is self-reflection. Self-reflection needs to be done consciously. अगर मुझे कोई WhatsApp group पे कोई message भेजता है, do I blindly forward it? Or do I do my research and find out कि ये fact है या fiction and then decide to send it out? What do I do? All this is self-reflection. You have got to be aware of yourself, and it needs to be done consciously. That's the first tip to improve critical thinking skill. Second is to always use multiple sources, which means even if you read newspaper, read 3 different types of newspaper. Even if you consume news online, take 3-4 different platforms and use them to consume news. Don't just go on one app that you have. In shorts pe padh liya jo aaya so aaya. I want to also read ET. I want to read FT. I want to read TOI. I want to read 5-6 different sources and then make up my mind and my view and my opinion on what is happening. Always consult one source more than your comfort zone to be a critical thinking leader. Multiple sources for every information is a conscious effort you will make. And the third tip I want to give you today is be open to feedback. When somebody challenges your view, be open to it. When somebody gives you a feedback, be open to it. Feedback का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आज अगर मुझे एक feedback मिल गया तो मुझे आज ही पूरा परिवर्तन लेके आना है. I have to create a transformation. No. It means, okay, food is presented on the table. सामने buffet है. मुझे क्या खाना है, क्या नहीं, वो मेरी choice. Right? लेकिन अगर आपने वो buffet में करेला रख दिया, तो मैं आपसे नाराज होकर रूम से ही चले जाऊं, that's not needed, right? कि अरे बॉस आपने करेला रखा ही क्यों? I don't like करेला. And sometimes feedback can taste like karela. Yes? Say yes in the chat box if you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes it's really like bitter. Kya bakwas hai boss? You don't know me and you're just giving me some random feedback. I don't like this. And then we just say ki bhai, I'm not open to feedback. I can tell people I am open and all that, but I'm not. You've got to consciously be open, knowing that करेला सिर्फ टेबल पे रखा है, किसी ने मुंह में नहीं डाला है. आपको ये खाना है कि नहीं खाना है, ये आपकी चॉइस है. If you think that, okay, I want to just try something new, and so I want to have. Or, okay, this is good for health, tastes very bad, but good for me. I will have it. It's a choice you make. Feedback is like that. It is presented to you. You don't have to immediately consume it, but be open to feedback. These three things are very easy, simple ways for you to start working towards becoming a critical thinking leader. Right? There is a lot more you will learn in this course on critical thinking. Now, if you go on the website sbyacademy.com, I want you to do this right away with me. Can you just go on to sbyacademy.com? And once you go on that homepage, there is a course tab. You will find a course tab there. Under that course tab, you will see courses. I'm just going to show that to you so that you can take the next step right away. Okay, so are you all there? Yes, give me a yes in the chat box. Super. Yeah. So Navneet has shared the link for Upskilling Leadership Blueprint, but you also have courses on the website where you can choose to pick only one C if you like. Right. So let me just share my screen here and take you through the website. Just allow me a moment. Okay, so I'm typing sbyacademy.com, and here you will see courses. Under courses, you will see leadership skill development courses. Please click here and you will see the whole list. This is ULB, Upskilling Leadership Blueprint, that Rakesh was talking about. And below that, you will see which is the next level, advanced level course for people who manage teams. But for now, I want you to focus on ULB because that's a very, very important course to go through. If you scroll down, you will see critical thinking course. This is a 5 days course, guys. If you want to do only critical thinking, you can do that also. Click on read more and it will take you to a page which will explain what all is included in this course, and just say get started and enroll. Okay, so you have all 4 independent courses available also. Collaboration, communication, creativity. आपको एक कोर्स इसमें से करना है, आपकी चॉइस है. आपको अगर चारों एक साथ करने हैं, that is Upskilling Leadership Blueprint. My recommendation is to go ahead with all, because no matter how good you think you are with these skills, there is a lot more to learn and we have covered it all for you. Okay, let's get to the next C. Collaboration. How many of you had collaboration as your least score? Say me in the chat box. सबसे कम collaboration में आया आपका score. Okay, Lakshay, thank you for your honesty. I love this group, guys. I'm really enjoying the conversation. As much as I'm doing all the talking, it's not feeling like a monologue at all. You guys are super active and participated. Thank you so much. Abdul and Lakshay, this was the lowest for you. Even if it wasn't the lowest, let me tell you, collaboration कोई सब्जेक्ट नहीं था कभी भी, ना स्कूल में, ना MBA में, ना किसी कॉलेज में. Collaboration सीखना पड़ता है. We need to learn because today the world is moving away from competition towards collaboration. So what is it that you will learn in collaboration? What is the true meaning of collaboration? Very good question. And that is the first thing I want you to learn. When you pick up a course on collaboration, first thing you have to learn is collaboration होता क्या है? Is it the same as cooperation? No. Is it the same as communication? No. Is it the same as teamwork? No. It is all of it together. It's about including people and taking people along with you to achieve what you want to achieve. Can you create that influence? Can you create a win-win situation with everybody so that people want to support you and work with you as a team, even if they don't report to you, even if you don't pay them, even if they have nothing to do with you, they are there in support, and that is your ability to collaborate. So what you will learn here, a very important thing to learn is whether you have the traits to be a collaborator or not. And if you don't have the traits, you will find a way to learn those traits. How can I apply collaboration to achieve results that I want and grow exponentially? How do I build collaboration as my strength? Now, here is a story of a co-founder of a company called NTPL, which grew from 150 crores before they did this course to 250 crores in a 1.5 years time. It's a huge growth. Would you agree? Say agree in the chat box. From 150 crore to 250 crores in 1.5 years is huge growth. And there are 2 co-founders and they both did this course. So let me take you through their story in their words. Atul is one of the co-founders. Let's see what he has to say.
So there were a lot of new learnings for me, though, I mean, we keep in touch all the time, and we learn a lot of things from your sessions basically. But this time I got to know the connections between all C's, like, and how they are interrelated. And the more impactful was on some, which noise was making me always disturb, while the critical thinking helped me to, eliminate those all noise. And then some of on effective leadership, that's you are surrounded by so many good people, but somewhere just because of your own self, you are not able to actually get the best, and you are not able to deliver the best. And I've learned a lot of things from effective leadership, and I think those 4 points have touched me, and I'm just implementing those in every day of my life. And I think the overall course was in the structure, the way it was. It has helped me a lot to connect the things. How communication helps when and the bigger impact was on collaboration. So I was never used to think that I mean, whatever organizations we have, we always have to create within us and then work towards it. But now it has opened up, like, you can collaborate. If you're not able to do it, go to the market right now. So better look at how we can collaborate and go fast in the market. I think that has opened up for me. That's what I wanted to say.
From what Atul is sharing, give me a yes in the chat box. So the biggest realization here is, guys, that we don't have to be a master of all. We don't need to know everything. We need to have the ability to collaborate with people so that we can create a one-stop shop. My client should not run helter-skelter. If what my client wants, I can't provide, I can tie up with RK and Krishna, and all three of us together can collaborate and offer the solution that a client is looking for. And then in that way, everybody gets some chunk of that business, right? So that's why I said we have to move away from competition as an attitude mindset towards collaboration. And this needs to be created. So what do you need to learn about collaboration? Sabse pehli baat, collaboration hota kya hai? That's what you've got to learn. What does it mean to me in my job, in my business? How do I apply it using tools and techniques? And how do I build this as my strength? I'm going to share with you 3 tips here as well. Are you ready? Say ready in the chat box. 3 tips to become a better collaborator. Ready? Ready to know what these 3 tips are? And of course, there's a lot more in the course that you can learn from. Super. Okay, let's bring it on. The first is sharpen your emotional quotient. You have to understand what emotional quotient is. You have to improve your emotional quotient by being more self-aware, managing your emotions, and bringing in higher level of empathy, right? So this again is a skill. Now, if you do Upskilling Leadership Challenge, which is the advanced course of 30 days, we have one full module on emotional intelligence. So you don't have to do a blueprint course. You can straight do challenge. But my recommendation is do blueprint first, understand the 4 C's, then move to challenge, where you will learn decision making, 8 different tools of decision making, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and managing conflict. These are the 4 big modules in Upskilling Leadership Challenge. But that's one thing you've got to do when you want to be a good collaborator. The next tip that I want to share with you is to keep your ego in check. Collaboration में बहुत ego clashes होते हैं, right? I think this is right. You think that is right. What we have to learn is to see the bigger picture. It's not about one person becoming a hero. It's about together creating a solution that my client wants. It's about together coming as a team and achieving the objective that my organization wants, right? So looking at the bigger picture and keeping a check on your ego is a very important thing in building collaborations. And lastly, invite a coach, a role model, or a mentor in your life. How many of you have a mentor? Say me. Say me in the chat box, guys, if you have any mentor or any coach, somebody who have invited as a coach. Because if you have one, you will take much lesser time to grow. You don't have to make all the mistakes and learn from it. We can always learn from other people's mistake, right? And trust me, people who have achieved what they have achieved are very generous about extending that learning to others so that they don't have to go through what we went through. I have been a first generation entrepreneur in my entire family. right? There is no business person in my family. We all come from banking background. And taking this plunge was not an easy journey for me. But because I put my hand up and asked for support, looked for mentors, role models, the journey was not as difficult as it would have been. And now wherever I am, I'm a mentor to a lot of people who are getting started or not able to take their game to the next level. And trust me, it excites me to make time to mentor them, because that's my way of giving back to the society from where I have received so much. So please look out for mentors, and you don't need to have one mentor, you can have multiple mentors. But these mentors will open up different networking platforms for you. They will open up your mind to learning a lot more, and then collaboration becomes easier, right? So find a mentor. How to choose a mentor, Isha? Very good question. So the first thing is, always be clear about what you want mentoring on. मुझे किस चीज के ऊपर mentoring चाहिए? If I need mentoring on communication, for what reason do I need mentoring? Am I preparing myself to speak in front of public? Am I preparing myself to be less misunderstood in my relationships? Where is communication becoming a challenge? Then I identify somebody who I think is doing well in that space. Somebody who's a great public speaker, somebody who's very good at managing relationships, somebody who I find very clear in their articulation, in their delivery. And that is my go-to person. That's the person I want to be mentored by, right? So I will reach out on LinkedIn. Typically, that's the platform where we connect professionally, or find a common connection between the two of us, and I will reach out to you and request for your support and your mentoring to help me with this weakness that I have, right? If you go out and ask for support, trust me, 99% of the times you will receive that support. The problem is we don't ask for it. We don't put our hand up. So learn to do that. Consciously look for mentors, and you will see how easy it gets for you to build collaboration as a skill. Okay, so to choose mentor on personality development, what qualities should be there in a mentor? Abdul, first of all, you should like the personality of this mentor. अगर personality development की बात हो रही है, तो हमें ये clear होगा कि हमारी personality में क्या flaws हैं, क्या सीखना बाकी है, और ये जो सीखना बाकी है, ये किस में मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, किस में मुझे लग रहा है कि यार इसमें जो skill है ना, ये मुझे चाहिए. I want to learn this from you. And then I reach out to my mentor and I say, this is what I'm looking at. Can you help? And trust me, there are people who will say that, you know what, I don't think I'll be able to help because I don't know how to teach, but I know somebody who can. And then they can put you on to the next best person, right? So be open to inviting mentors in your life, role models. Always have role models. And when you look for role models, it's a very important thing to remember the difference between being influenced and being inspired. How many of you feel inspired? Say me in the chat box. किसी ना किसी इंसान के साथ आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिला है, या किसी ना किसी टाइम पे लाइफ में आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिला है, चाहे किसी वीडियो से मिला हो, किसी बंदे की स्पीच से मिला हो, बट आपको सुन के इंस्पिरेशन मिला, राइट? एंड दैट इंस्पिरेशन इज व्हाट? पॉजिटिव एनर्जी, मोटिवेशन, ग्रेट थिंग. बट इन्फ्लुएंस इज नॉट अ ग्रेट थिंग. Influence means when you like something about somebody, you try to become that person. Then you are getting influenced by that person. There is a difference, right? If I love the way Priyanka carries herself, I don't need to become Priyanka. I am Yukti and Priyanka is Priyanka. She inspires me to be my better self, but I don't have to be influenced to become who she is, because I can never be. She is who she is and I am who I am. Are you getting the difference? So when you find a role model, please don't get carried away with that person's way of being. Hold yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, but be open to learning what you see and what you like in other people. Say got it if you got this in the chat box. It's a very, very important insight that can save you from a lot of trouble, guys. Say got it in the chat box. You got it? Got it? Super. All right. Let's now get by communication. बहुत कुछ सीखने को है, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा important communication में हमें ये सीखना है कि what are the effective ways, effectiveness of communication. How do I learn? What are my strengths and weaknesses related to communication? How do I apply this in real life? And how do I make myself more effective as a leader? All this is what you will learn in the communication course also that I showed you on the website. And this is what is most important to learn if you're working on communication. So here is a story of somebody who is a business development officer and is into her first or second job. Always was very confident about her English and way of speaking. But when she learned communication, what did it do to her? Let's find out from Ipshita.
In my department, like if the place where I'm working in, I'm in the middle department where I have close contact with the CEOs of the company, as well as to the juniors from whom I have to get the work done, and as well as the client side. So knowing this, the whole session and the whole 15 days has made me go a step back and actually think about the way we speak to our clients, the way I speak to my team members, the way we speak to our other department people, and actually think before you speak and do things, and how it can be done in a better way, and how can you express yourself better and keep your point by actually understanding other person's point of view as well. So I think that is the biggest takeaway for me for now.
And these are the most important things to remember in communication. What is the barrier I face when I'm communicating, like how Ishita said, and how do I use the process of communication better to articulate myself well? She is somebody who talks to CEOs, and she had to take a step back, relearn, unlearn a few things about communication after doing the course, and then started doing it the right way. So what is the communication process? You will learn this much in detail in the course. It's a 5-step process. What is the source of your communication? How do you encode it? How do you use the right channel? How do you decode communication? And lastly, how do you give and receive feedback? What I want to give away today as a part of this workshop is a 3-step process to give feedback in a more effective manner. Are you ready for that? A 3-step process to give better feedback. Give me a yes in the chat box if you're ready. How to get out of your comfort zone, Sunil? 1 step at a time. 1 step at a time. Take one baby step outside of the couch, and that will encourage and motivate you to take another. There are also a few other tools and techniques which we will catch up on some other time. And you can also write to me on my email address, yukti@sbyacademy.com. Super. All right. So we are ready to know how to give feedback. It is a skill, guys. We have to learn to give feedback so that we get what we want from people. So this 3-step process is called as SBI. SBI Bank hai, State Bank of India, same SBI, okay? But it's not the same State Bank of India. It's a 3-step process where S stands for situation. When you are giving a feedback, highlight the situation that you are talking about and not make it generic. Then specify the behavior on which you are giving the feedback, and the I is the impact that this behavior has. Let me give you an example. Feedback could be, boss, you always come late and I don't like it, right? Have you received this kind of a feedback ever, or given this feedback? Give me yes in the chat box. That, yeah, you just get this feedback sometimes like, you know what, you're always late and it's not appreciated. I don't like this. Or, you know what, I don't think it's a done thing at your level to not value time. Generic, random. It doesn't tell me exactly what the issue is and what do I need to do. Now I change this using SBI. How will I do this? I'll say, you know what, Krishna, in the last meeting, you were 15 minutes late. Situation. I've given one situation and not generic, right? That's the S. B. Now, because of that, what is happening is that the rest of the team members are feeling more relaxed and comfortable to come late as well, because you were senior and you are late. So others are also feeling more and more comfortable about being late. That is the behavior. And the impact is that as a result of this, we are starting our discussions too late and not arriving at consensus, right? So the situation is you were late in the last meeting by 15 minutes. And when you came in late, because of that reason, we had to recap the whole first 15 minute slot, and the team is getting more and more comfortable coming late because they see you coming in late. The impact of which is Sorry, I lost the network. Can you hear me, guys? Give me a yes, please. Give me a thumbs up on the screen. Yes, super, super, super. All right, all right. Thank you for holding this space. Thank you for being with me. There are a few things we can't do much about. Technology is one of them. Okay, great. So this is going to be our new way to give feedback, right? We are going to talk about the specific situation. What is the behavior on which you're giving a feedback, and what is the impact of that behavior? Even if you want to give this feedback to your loved ones, I want you to follow this 3-step process and then see how well people take this feedback and give you what you want from them. Okay, sounds good. Say SG in the chat box. Say sounds good, sounds good. This is the art of giving feedback, guys. A very, very important thing to be learned. And it is just one small part of what we will learn together in communication course. Super. Okay, and now let's move to the last C, which is creativity. Much needed in every profession, as important to think out of the box as it is to think within the box. What you will learn and need to learn is how to develop the ability to be creative at work and in life. I want you to listen to the own
Thank you.
No voice. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. I will just share once again.
Really, it was very insightful. And the couple of things, Yuki, that I took from this is the way the whole course, the content, most of them have shared. The best part was the interviews, these stars and these people, the way they are grounded. And I know for a fact that now you are also a star for all of us. And the way you are grounded, we see you delivering content and webinars the way you do it. So thank you very much for getting this. And primarily being an entrepreneur, worked with corporates, but never worked in a corporate for long. But this sort of trainings are always good learnings that we can implement in our own systems. And as leaders, in our businesses, we normally don't tend to think from our employees' perspective. But I think I'm taking a lot of things. Creativity is one thing which I was definitely not inducing in my system, in my company. And Prahlad Thakkar, we had heard him in MMD last year, BNI conference, and so I could not hear his full interview, but a small story that he shared, I don't know whether he shared in this interview, that when he was at Bandra, it is called as Papa Pancho. So so he makes he wanted to give this maa ki dal, which is made in Punjab, and it takes around 24 hours to make. So when he made this restaurant, he was supplying this dal free to all customers, and this dal takes 24 hours to make. So getting such type of creative guys into this forum, it was really an honor, because these are the guys. I mean, people used to come into this restaurant just to eat this dal, which was free. So imagine, I mean, what level of creative guys are these, and they coming to this forum. I'm really honored, and Yuki, thanks for getting this session. I was wondering, should I ask you whether you are going to give this content to us for referring, because I tend to forget things very fast, even during this lockdown,
awesome.
Where we have nothing
so
to
here
do,
is
but still,
what he talked about on
a big task for a guy like
creativity.
me. And
There is
thank you, and really
session
appreciate
that
it.
Prahlad
Thank you very
Thakkar
much.
has taken as a part of this course, Upskilling Leadership Blueprint, where for 1 hour I've interviewed him on what makes him an ad guru, a creative guru of India. This is exclusive content, guys. You will not be able to get this content anywhere on YouTube or his own channel. And there are 4 such celebrities who have shared their wisdom with us in this course. I'm going to tell you a little more about it. But first, let us learn a little more about creativity through these 3 simple tips. Okay? Are you ready? Say ready in the chat box, guys. Here are the last 3 tips for you for today. And these are related to creativity. What is important is about creativity. You've got to know what it means. How is it different from innovation? How do you apply it in your business? What is the creative thinking process? The tools that will make you more creative, and how will you develop creativity? So here are 3 ways to develop creativity. The first thing is, guys, create an environment where it is okay to make mistakes. गलती सबसे होती है. अगर हम failures के लिए ऐसा environment create करेंगे कि कुछ भी failure होगा, there will be consequences or even embarrassment, people will not be able to come up with their creativity. So you've got to create an environment where it is okay to fail. The second is expand your knowledge, widen your canvas, learn a little bit about everything. So one homework that I want to give you is pick up a book or an article on some subject that you know the least about. Suppose आपको नहीं पता ये NFT ये सब क्या है, cryptocurrency क्या है पता नहीं, या world politics में क्या हो रहा है पता नहीं, अभी latest क्या कुछ crisis चल रहा है पता नहीं, medicine में कुछ नया कुछ invention आया है, no idea, right? Something which is not my subject, and read one article on that subject. That's it. One day, one article, if you can read on something which does not interest you, you will widen your canvas. And trust me, you will elevate your ability to be creative if you can do that. There is a lot more I will tell you in the course, but for now, take this tip ahead. And the last one to add to this is explore and experiment. Do new things, try out new things, try out looking at the same situation in a different manner, try responding to something in a different way. Try to bring in something different in whatever you do, even if the situation is the same. And that's how you will give yourself a chance to come out more creatively, right? So with all these learnings put together, the structure with which you will consume this learning is going to be threefold. There is a masterclass on each one of these 4 C's. Then expert will talk to you for an hour, a video with them, exclusive interview with people, and I'll tell you who these 4 celebrities are. And then you also have assignment, which you have to do on every skill. All of this will take you max 1 hour a day of focused study for 15 days. And I promise you, you will master each one of these 4 C's. Who are these experts? Prahlad Kakkar, the ad guru of India, talks about creativity. Dr. Subramaniam Kusnur is a global collaborator. He represents India in different parts of the world and works closely with different international embassies. He talks about how to collaborate. Ashish Vidyarthi, who's a very famous actor, national award-winning actor, he talks about communication. Who better than Ashish to talk about how he's so good at communication, what is helping him, what makes him successful. And Dr. Ajinkya Patil, D.Y. Patil's son, and also chairman of D.Y. Patil Group, he talks about how he has created multiple enterprises using critical thinking as a skill. All these interviews are exclusive and available only in this course that we have curated for you guys. So what is the next step? The next step is for you to decide one of the 2 things. Listen to this carefully, guys. First decision is, do I want to pick only one course or do I want to do all 4? If you do any one of these courses, it's available for 9999 on sbyacademy.com. Today, for the next half an hour, you have any of these courses at 60% discount, which means you will get any of this at just 3,999. You can go onto the website, go to that course page and say buy now and register, right? So you don't need any code for that. It is open. You just need to go onto the page. I showed you the path from SBY Academy to courses. Navneet, please put direct link for all these 4 courses also in the chat box. So that's one choice. One option is take this 60% discount and pick up any one course or 2 courses, whatever you think you need to focus on. Now, if you do all 4, even with 60% discount, it comes to 12,000. I want to make this sweeter than this also by giving you 90% discount if you choose to go for all 4, which is my strong recommendation, because trust me, a lot will unfold even on skills which you think you have mastered. And all of this put together is available for just 6,999 for the next 30 minutes only, right? So you need to use a code called 5x growth, all in caps. Please note this down, 5x growth. Navneet has already shared the link. Navneet put it in the WhatsApp group as well. Use this code once you click on that link, and you can book Upskilling Leadership Blueprint for yourself, which covers all these 4 courses in the next 15 days at 90% discount only for the next 30 minutes. Because if you can't decide now, you will never decide, right? Then you will be sitting on the fence, and one day you will probably take that leap. But if that day is not today, trust me, it will not happen. So let's go ahead with that. And with this course comes bonus worth 5 lakhs. There are 5 things. First, it's self-paced learning, which means no fixed classes, no fixed hours. Whenever you get time in the day, you block that 1 hour. You will get a certificate, which I call as a certificate of pride by the end of this course. You will get an ebook, very, very comprehensive to go deeper. You will be a part of SCL Mastermind, which is a group of very senior people from various industries. And this is a closed group where I share exclusive content that we don't share even on our social platforms. And lastly, you have lifetime access to this course. You can come back to the recordings whenever you want. You have lifetime access to this. So this is what makes the course even more unique. With that, the next 3 steps are for you to take. My part of the deal was to keep the commercials aside and make it so reasonable that you don't have to think twice. With just 6,999, grab this course, guys. It's something that you will not find anywhere else. But now your part of the deal will be to take the next 3 steps. Self-discipline, to stay on track with your 1 hour study commitment. Self-motivation, to stay on track and make sure you keep doing it. And even if you miss one day, guys, the recordings are available. You can go ahead with it later as well. If you cannot do 1 hour every day, you can spend some time every weekend and complete the course. That is also a possibility. And like I said, you have lifetime access, so don't have to worry about it at all. And the third is selfless service, by using what you learn from these skills and then apply it with your teams, in your business, with your colleagues, and add value to their life. These are the 3 steps I want you to take. And with that, thank you so much for your amazing participation. I had a blast today in this discussion, and I do hope that I added some value to you. I am going to hold this space for the next 30 minutes on WhatsApp, and I'm open to any questions that you may have right now or ask on WhatsApp. You can even leave an audio note on WhatsApp with your question, and I will respond to it real time for the next 30 minutes till the window is open with the discount code 5x growth. Go ahead, grab this opportunity, guys, and do share your takeaways from the session on the chat box as well as the WhatsApp group. I'm looking forward to knowing what you have learned. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Isha. Please put this in the WhatsApp group as well. And at the end of our Q&A round on the WhatsApp group, I will be sharing a free ebook with you all on leadership. We have curated this very, very carefully, so I'm sure it will add a little more value to your understanding of leadership. So grab that free ebook. But before that, put out your questions and sharings on WhatsApp. And I do hope that you become a Silhouette leader. Come join the tribe, do this course, guys. And from there on, we'll start our journey of 5x growth in your chosen career and profession. Thank you. Thank you, Lakshya, Isha. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Please take care. God bless you all. Let's continue this session on WhatsApp. Take care. Thank you.